Look at it. Look at it! Dude, that fucking intro was fucking pressed. Anyway. What's up, everybody? Episode 101 here of the Pucknologists 101, the freeway that you never want to go on. You can help it. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Happy birthday to Finn. Hello, Sharks Pup, at Sharks Pup on Twitter. And yesterday, happy 30th birthday to the San Jose Sharks. Yes, that is when it all began. A scotch about 30 years ago. So, with us tonight on the Pucknologists, of course, one rocket backhander.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing?
And Hockey Jerk. Do you have $10 I can borrow?
Well, if there's one thing about the 101 freeway that I don't like is that it's some maniac is going to throw road flares at you.
Oh, jeez.
But that's only if he's pulled over, only if he's in a Toyota 4Runner, and only if his front tires are ripped to shit. That's the only reason.
And he had to have bought out 7-Eleven of all their Slim Jims.
That's true.
Oh my gosh. What about the Mountain Dew, though?
Nope, there was no Mountain Dew, although there
could have been. There was a cooler in the back seat that could have been.
That was filled with gas. Anyway.
Bottle of Jim Beam.
So, what up, everybody? So, we're week 33, I guess, into the NHL. I'm not even sure. Week 9, I guess, of lockdown. If you watch Brody, it's like 58 days of lockdown. Either way. Once again, happy Mother's Day. Happy first birthday, Finn. Happy 30th to the Shark. What is new, Rocket, with you? Anything interesting that happened to you in the last 2 weeks?
No, I'm just kicking it in New Jersey. It's been very cold. Been staying at the house, growing plants.
See, I don't buy you as a Jersey girl. Your hair is just not big enough right now.
No, it's not. But I'm indoors, and I also live in a pretty Mediterranean neighborhood. So there's a lot of head coverings and stuff, and so I blend right in.
All right. I will say, just based on the camera and everything, and the way you look, you definitely have that Jersey tan. I'm just gonna say.
But it's gym tan laundry, and the gym is closed, so I got to double up on something. So doubled up on the tan.
Jerkman, what up?
Not a whole lot. I've evidently there's a pretty deep library of full NHL games from past seasons that I've kind of been picking through a little bit. There's also some World Cup games on there, some old World Juniors games on there. So, kind of nice to have that familiar background noise going again, if you will. But other than that, I mean, it's been great. Let me do some quick counting here. We are, let's see, it has been 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53 days since I last was at work.
Those are my measurements. All of those are my measurements.
So we're trying to find things to do. We're decorating the apartment a little bit, going out on some walks. We're making things happen.
Put some jerseys on the wall yet?
Well, we're not there yet. But let me let you know, the closet, I'm running out of hangers. So
right now,
the wall might be step 2.
Well, as always, do us a favor. In case you miss anything, you can catch it on any of your favorite podcast catcher platforms. Always on YouTube, always on tealtownusa.com. Remember to follow us on our social media. Subscribe at YouTube, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, like us on Facebook, hit us up on Reddit, and if you have the mysterious URL, join us for Police Chase Fridays on Discord. I'm just saying. Sometimes it bleeds over into other days of the week, as it did last night. But hey, it's all good. So let's start off with, boom, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. John Scott, fourth line perennial, NHL All-Star MVP, John Scott, a couple, maybe almost a month ago now at this point, tweeted out that he said that, hey, May 15th, shit's going to happen, and then June 1st, people are going to start skating, and there was a couple people that we reached out to about that, and they said, ha, ha, ha. And the hockey guy on YouTube, lots of follows, he's a good follow, he said, dude knows people, and based on some of the other news that he's looked at, kind of backs him up. So if you don't know what we're saying, John said, hey, just got word NHL camps will begin June 1st. European players are coming back soon. From everything that I'm seeing between Pierre LeBrun and everything, John Scott might have this one like right in the bag. So, Jerk, have you seen anything to dissuade you from this?
Yeah, can you pull up that tweet again, please?
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for, dude. It's just to produce your show.
So one of the things that does dissuade me is the name next to the blue check mark. Because while John Scott is a great story, a great dude, he doesn't work for the NHL.
But he knows people.
Right, but we've seen in the past that when certain information gets dropped before the NHL would like it to be dropped, the NHL tends to slide in and try and do some cleanup and yes, this thing, we were going to announce it. We got a little sidetracked. And that hasn't happened yet. Honestly, I did hear something saying that NHL owners and GMs were going to be given a 1 month kind of notice before the NHL draft.
All right.
And as of the recording of today's podcast, May 10th, 2020, that 1 month notice has not been given yet. So while the draft is separate from the season, clearly, there's been talks of keeping the draft the same amount of time after the conclusion of the season, just depending on when the season concludes. There's talking about the draft being done for some reason before the season is even over. So, you can't really have one without the other kind of thing. I mean, if John Scott ends up being right, then full marks to him and I'll walk everything I just said back, but he's not the first or 10th person I would go for this kind of information.
Dude, if he's right about this, how many followers is he going to pick up?
maybe enough to get him a new microphone for his podcast.
Dude, the clout, clout is going to be chasing him. I don't
know. That's Jerknomics 101.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes, it is.
So, it all remains to be seen. But, hey, if things start June 1 and we start to see a lot of movement, hey, okay. If we start to see a lot of movement, like if they maybe announce something either the 31st or June 2nd, like give or take a day, Jerk, will you give him a cookie?
Oh, absolutely. No, that's the thing. Like, I'm enough of an adult to admit when I am wrong in pointing out that somebody else is wrong. I'm enough of an adult to do that. So yeah, if Mr. Scott proves to be right and June 1 is the first day of training camp, then hit the record button and we'll get going.
Oh, dude. But Vince G, he hasn't hit Mike Commodore levels of insider, but he's off to a good start.
No, yeah. No, I mean, nobody can step up to Commie's level. So.
Oh, dude, hashtag pack your shit.
All I'm saying.
Right? So, in other Sharks news, they have started themselves a fund. Shark Sports and Entertainment have put together a COVID-19 relief fund. This is basically going to help all of their part-time staff. I kind of feel like Boston Bruins franchise might want to take a look at this and go, nah, not doing it. But anyway, if you're interested, it's just so screwed up. But sjsharks.com/COVID-19 relief. If you want to help out, I guess, what are we talking about? Like the blue coats and a lot of the people that, that scan your tickets, all those types of peeps. Look, there's a lot of people that make the game experience what it is. So kudos to the Sharks for putting that together. Public donations will be accepted. It started on April 27th. They'll go through July 25th. To make a donation, again, sjsharks.com/COVID-19 relief. I think that's cool. I think it's something that, if fans want to get involved and help, throw down a couple dollars to the people that help make the game experience what it is, I think it's a good thing for the Sharks. I mean, I know Rocket just wants a coffee card, but
is it too much to ask?
So with that, what do you think Boston's doing in response, Jerk? Like taking away parking for the VIPs? What's going
on? Well, see, I think, I don't know, because this is what I think is happening, because obviously we've seen a lot of different places, restaurants, retail stores, venues, all the like. They've all started enhancing their security measures. Jesus, their
hey now.
Their their cleaning procedures, right?
Sure.
But I've heard through the grapevine, I've heard that the Boston Bruins are actually they are decreasing their cleaning measures because their owner doesn't want to pay their employees an extra hour of work. So they will only be sanitizing once a month. No, I'm just kidding. God forbid, right? No, you know what? I think this is really good because thankfully we all support a team that hasn't done this, right? But there are a lot of teams out there who have said, well, I know that the games were postponed 7 weeks ago, but they're still postponed, so you could still potentially work and make your money. Yeah. While the Sharks, along with, I want to say the Ducks, and I think there's one more team off the top of my head, I can't remember, maybe the Avalanche, who, like, day one, they're like, nope, they make our game day experience happen. We have to pick up their slack. And I don't remember where I read it, some article, I believe it was Jonathan Becker or one of his, peeps, but they basically said that, this can go into June and we're not going to stop helping our people. So
gotta respect
really
it.
Yeah, I was going to say it makes me feel good to be a fan and support a team who is going to stick up for the people who help them out. I mean, you think about it, like we've all been to Sharks games where we sit next to a crappy person, right? and
how dare you talk about Rocket that way? But go ahead.
No, and
I was about to say sometimes you are that crappy fan. Like that's immediately where my mind went.
Well, at
least they call themselves out by wearing a scarf. But go ahead.
Right, but you have the blue coats are there to ensure that you have a good time. This building security keeps everything locked up and, keeps everything safe. You have the information desk. You have the people who sell you food, who sell you a jersey, who clean the toilet so that you can use it. You know what I mean?
Right. Damn right.
Like, it's so it's so easy to go to a game and you think, oh, man, I'm just going to sit and watch this game and it's going to be great. And we take for granted what the off-ice staff does for us.
Well, yeah, but see, one of the things that you mentioned there, I think that's like an Aramark thing, not a Sharks thing. But when you talk about the guys that do the janitorial work and everything like that, no, that's Sharks Sports and Entertainment. And I mean, those guys are doing yeoman's work right there. Let me let you know. I appreciate it.
The ladies in the ladies' room are always on it because there's usually water everywhere.
Oh, so, yeah.
they're really good about like, making sure that all of us keep our heads in one pieces and don't slip and fall. So.
Oh yeah, homie bro who's in the bathroom. I like AJ knows what I'm talking about. You get enough, you get enough adult sodas or regular sodas, and you're gonna have to hit the urinal a couple times during the game. And homie bro, he's always squeegeeing that counter. You don't. I'll tell you this. I've definitely slipped in an SAP Center bathroom before. Thankfully, I caught myself because I have cat-like reflexes. But
he does actually.
But Chief and Homegirl with the squeegees and the towels, they make sure that like a rocket tank, they make sure it's safe. They make sure it's clean. Yep. Like if I go to SAP Center and the bathroom is a disaster and my seat is a disaster and the information desk is a disaster, I'm gonna want to watch the game at home.
No,
yeah.
I feel you. If that situation happened, magic. Yes, absolutely.
I want to take a hot second here to just appreciate the bathrooms at SAP Center. That's all.
No, I'm down with it.
They are pretty nice.
They're so big. Holy crap!
Especially the club bathrooms are really nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's just so many of them. I have not been in a venue that has had so many bathrooms. And I think what's cool about them is like, you go in and there's just row and row and row and row. And then there's actually another room that they have closed off until there's a high volume. And then you open it and holy shit, it's more toilets.
There you go.
I want that. I would just want like an extra room full of toilets that I don't use until, I have a lot of guests over and say, oh, by the way, here.
No, I'm down with it. So again, sjsharks.com/COVID-19 relief, help those people out because they definitely help fans out for the game experience. And, Jerk was talking about adult beverages. I'm just saying, when they're there and they're making them, it just changed my life. I'm just saying. So with that, moving on, HBO, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's get into this for a hot second. I was actually bummed that we're doing this every 2 weeks because I wanted to talk about this last week, but holy shit. Okay, HBO ran an episode of, what's Cat's name? Bryant Gumbel? Something Gumbel? Greg Gumbel? Bryant Gumbel? Whatever, it doesn't even matter.
Gumble the Gumble?
Yeah, Gumbel.
Gumball machine?
Yeah, exactly. So HBO ran an episode of Real Sports and the potential impact that sporting events may have had on spreading COVID-19. Funnily enough, in this 20-minute segment, there was zero mention of like concerts because there was a lot of those. Now, granted, it's called Real Sports, so I guess you don't want to mention that. But no other gatherings were mentioned whatsoever that weren't canceled or that were. Now, full disclosure, as I get up on my soapbox for this HBO Real Sports BS.
Oh, boy.
They actually reached out to me to interview me. I was given a phone call from an HBO Real Sports producer, and I'm not going to lie, dude asked me, he's like, so did you go any of those last 3 games, on March 5th or 7th or 8th? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, do you know anybody who ended up contracting the virus? It's like, you've got this podcast and all of these things, do you know anybody? And I'm like, no, bro. Like, everybody's fine. Everybody's healthy. We're all good. And producer boy came off bummed as shit. Like, he was upset that I didn't have a story to tell him. And it's like, I don't know of any fan who contracted the virus. What do you expect me? Do you want me to lie? I don't know. But either way, if you watch the 20-minute piece, based on the interview that I went through and based on the piece, this really came off like a huge hit job. And the thing that really set it off for me is the fact that nowhere during the piece, beginning, middle, or end, did they say, well, we reached out to the Sharks organization, or, well, we reached out to the NHL to comment on this, and there was none of that. There was nothing from the opposite position. It was just, here's a couple doctors that work in Berkeley, and we kind of know their background, and They're just really upset. Bottom line is, man, did that shit come off as a hit piece. But then again, I was going to say, but then again, Rocket has actually gone through it. But when you contracted it, you had nothing to do with going to a goddamn game.
No, I'm pretty sure I got it, like I said, either in Las Vegas or at the airport.
Or from Jerk if you were in Vegas, probably.
You know what?
Who?
I'm actually I was thinking about this the other day. In retrospect, I'm glad I didn't meet up with him because I probably would have gotten him sick too. So
appreciate you.
Hey man, just looking out for you. Who knew?
You're just trying to be a good teammate.
Yeah, but I didn't get the cough. I did get like a low grade fever, and I got a lot of like inflammation, and my heart wouldn't stop pounding for a couple of days. It was bad.
And it's clearly giving you an amazing skin tan.
Yeah, it's this glow. I am so.
Let it glow.
I'm tired of.
Let it glow.
This is what happens when you've got to stay home and you can't get your friends to come over and give you a spray tan. You got to do it yourself.
You know what's really worse is that the fact that we're like paired together in the shot, and it's like you have this gorgeous color.
I'm orange.
Meanwhile, I look like Casper. I look like fucking Casper right now. Jesus,
you're
guys.
the same color as the posters behind you.
Yeah. John on the super chat, $2. Thank you so much for the donation. AJ Rocket Jerk, hope you all are doing good. The thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. Again, you want to support the show, help us out. We so much appreciate that. Use the super chat option and you can donate. Help us keep things rolling. Appreciate that. That's awesome.
We are trying. Our goal for tonight is $10. We are on our way there.
That's all I'm feeling.
I gotta say, we got a packed show, so I don't want to take up too much time. But I will just say this little HBO alleged whatever thing. I didn't watch it because I don't want to give these fools the satisfaction that another set of eyeballs saw their crappy product. But to your point, AJ, nobody mentioned, in this thing, it was very much, like you said, framed as a hit piece against the Sharks. Not once were the Warriors mentioned.
No. The Warriors were mentioned a lot, as were the Earthquakes.
Okay, my blunder. I've heard some people say that they did not get as much blame as the Sharks have, but still, the point staying, and the point we've been making all along, if the Sharks were to say, well, Santa Clara County says we can't have a game, so we're not going to have a game. The NHL is going to say, okay, then in the standings it's going to be a loss. The Sharks don't get to decide to just postpone a game. They have to agree with the other team to do that, and the NHL has to be consulted. It's a whole thing. But like you said, it seemed very much like they were looking for, they were looking for anything that would reflect negatively on the whole situation, and like,
absolutely.
It's not, but I mean, it's not just like, even if when did the Santa Clara County recommendation to not have large events, when was that March 2nd or March 7th?
No, it was literally March 5th. It was a few hours before the game against Minnesota.
I'll tell you this, I would bet money that even if the Sharks heeded that reference and didn't have any games, I bet you San Jose is still a hot zone for COVID. Like, I'm sorry, but
you got people coming back from CES from Vegas.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. All three of us live or have lived in the San Jose area. There's more to life in San Jose than sports.
Yes. Absolutely. And Alden telling me that I look like powder. Dude, that's a fucked up thing to say, but a fantastic movie reference. I'll give you that. And like a tiger wants to know, Rocket, did you lose any sense of smell or taste when you had your COVID issues?
No, I did not lose my sense of smell or taste.
Then are you sure
then again,
that you had COVID?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Like, it was, my heart wouldn't stop racing, and like I went to sleep and I woke up.
Staring at that photo of Brendan Dillon?
Yeah, that was completely it. No, like it just, I didn't feel very. I felt off. I had felt off for a couple days. Just weird. I felt weird, and I had to call into work that night.
All right.
Pretty sure if I tried to go to work, I would have died of a heart attack.
Nice. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to the next topic. Oh my gosh, this is something that I have just. It's like Fanatics, dude. Like take a number at this point. The Athletic, and actually not the Athletic. Following the Athletics lead from April 1st, when they did a whole rating of like hockey announce crews and ranking. Awful Announcing ran a survey for best announcing crew. Now, the Sharks finished 10th and tops in the Pacific for the Athletic. All of a sudden, they finished 6th and 2nd in the division for Awful Announcing. Does any of this matter? Because it's all subjective.
No.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
I also think they put these things out
'Cause they
and
have
they do
nothing
it.
better to do.
Well, no, but they do it with they're like, you know what, these rankings don't actually matter. Let's tweak them around so people start talking about it because, let's shake them up a little bit because we're all bored, So they do this on purpose just to get people talking.
Well, and let me ask you this. Are you more likely to vocalize your opinion on something if you like it or dislike it?
Dislike? Look at Yelp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and I try when I have good service or a good experience, I try to share that. But at the same time, we as people kind of expect things to be good. So when it is good, it's like, oh, business as usual. But when things are bad, then it's like, well, this is reprehensible. And we go into a whole thing about it,
Yeah, like a tiger.
Yep.
Let's rank the Down Goes Brown rankings.
I have brought this up to you before, AJ, a couple of times.
I'm just saying.
Top
I said,
30 teams the Sharks should trade Erik Karlsson to.
you won't believe number 7.
Oh my God. Now Vince asking, were they polling subscribers or reporters? Does it really matter? But no, well, hold on. Dude, Awful Announcing, they don't have subscribers or reporters as far as I know. It's just, they threw it out into the ether and said, here you go. So it's basically one of those things where it's like, okay, well, whatever fan base we reach the most of, here you go, whatever. Again, I just go by the fact where it's like, this is retarded subjective BS that is lazy like this. We're just trying to kill time during the downturn. Fine, whatever. At least that's one of the things that I can respect about Kurz is that if you've looked at the article, the articles Kevin Kurz has put out since everything shut
Really
down
good.
2 months ago, that it really hasn't been clickbait. But Jesus Christ, the amount of sports clickbait that has happened. Looking at you, NBCS, Bay Area, California. Yeesh.
Well, and I'll say
Yikes.
this. Even the pieces that Kevin has put out, whether it's like a what if piece or an alternate history piece or something like that, even those pieces that he's put out have been interesting to read. It's not like what would happen if the sun didn't come up on January 1st, 2000. It's not bullshit like that. Like, it's actually stuff that's interesting to read. You know what I mean?
Shit, yeah. Christ. All right.
Just randomly.
This is the world we live in.
I'm telling you. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is there have been, and I guess this is COVID, in response to COVID. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't actually know, but we have seen updated Google development plans announced, and we all know that there will be, in some way, shape, or form, an impact to SAP Center after Google starts doing their thing. And based on what was emailed out from the Sharks, I'm not thrilled. And so I will throw up the bullet points that piss me off. The presentation that they produced, it's increased San Jose Sharks sports and entertainment's concerns in relation to the city's commitment to the sustainability of SAP Center, including reduction of the street capacity surrounding the arena, including a potential closure of the northbound 87 exit to Santa Clara Street. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And the thing that's not put into that first bullet point is the fact that They sit there and go, oh, well, that's just one freeway, you know, and and 87 is such a small freeway. And it's like, bitch, 280. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. 280 funnels into that. So it's more than just 87. And so you're going to take this critical access and you're going to say, fuck it. Push him to Julian and make him come in the back way, I guess. But if you do that, there's been a scotch of talk about lots B and C, which would be the lots that you would park in if you came in off Julian, that area could be sold off to Google. So that is some shit that you all need to like think about for a hot second. Second bullet point, disproportionate emphasis on pedestrians, bicycles, and mass transit in the downtown core. Thank you, Mayor Sam Liccardo. That's all he cares about. And that would severely limit the ability of downtown employees and transit riders intending to reach Diridon Station and SAP Center, all those people trying to arrive or depart the area by automobile. Some of us enjoy cars. We like them. We like to use them. Either way, the fact of the matter, last bullet point, continued absence of a comprehensive plan to address the substantial parking needed for the expansion of Diridon Station, the addition of BART, and people coming to events at SAP Center. I mean, dear God. That's the thing that drives me nuts about all this shit, is that Liccardo and this whole group is saying, well, downtown needs to be far more pedestrian friendly and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we need more people to come visit downtown. If you want people to come visit downtown, how the fuck do you expect them to get there if there's nowhere for them to put their fucking car? Not everybody is going to use mass transit to get there, Rocket.
No, they're going to have to. Like, what they're going to do is they're going to have to go park over at the football stadium in Santa Clara. And then they're all going to have to get off. And then just take BART in from there.
Oh, Jesus God. They're going to have to take a
get
bus.
A Lime or a Bird or something.
Yeah, they're going to have to take a light rail to this area, then grab a Bird to get to the BART, and then...
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and go ahead.
And there's nothing that says... nothing in the concerns that are voiced or the point that you brought up, AJ, of how do you expect people to want to come to downtown San Jose when they can't get here?
There's nothing for you to do.
You're this nice little, you're this nice little German family who's coming to San Jose, and you want to walk around downtown and take pictures and maybe ride a scooter and all this stuff. And then some maniac, comes up behind you and tries to steal your wallet because downtown San Jose is just flat out not safe.
I'm a maniac. Rawr.
I'll tell you this. I've worked and lived and meandered about downtown San Jose for most of my adult life anyway.
Mm-hmm.
AJ knows what I'm talking about. There's some shit going on there.
There's some sketch.
Yeah, no, especially like the closer you get to the campus, like it definitely gets more seedy down that way.
No, look, I understand that you want to expand and build and make things nicer or whatever. And look, if you want to gentrify the shit out of downtown, fine, whatever. Fact of the matter is, downtown San Jose and those surrounding parts, it's not Manhattan. No matter how much Sam Liccardo wishes it was, it's not Man-fucking-Hattan. And people still need vehicles. There is still a contingent of people that love their four wheels. They love to be able to go into the garage and hop in their, in their hoopty and let that take them to where they need to go. And they don't want to be on somebody else's schedule, whether it's VTA or county transit or name your public transit device here. Some people, like myself, like to be on their own schedule, want to drive. I'm telling you right now, I probably live maybe on an average day. I could leave right now. If I left this house right now, I said, okay, guys, have a great show, and I'm going to leave, I would log in back into this podcast within somewhere between 13 and 15 minutes, and you would see SAP behind me, because that's how quickly I can get there if I drive my own vehicle. If I tried to take mass transit,
it's 2 hours.
well, I wouldn't say 2 hours. Definitely 40 minutes. Definitely twice the amount of time it would take me to get there. Now, granted, maybe I don't live in the season ticket holder or the option that they're looking for. Maybe they're thinking more peninsula, but even that, there's Caltrain. Okay, that's an option. It's just like, if you're going to take away all of these things, don't be surprised if the Sharks have a problem and perhaps file a lawsuit or something, because they expect a decent amount of parking. And one of the things that was mentioned in our interview with John Tortora a few months ago that never seems to get mentioned in any of the current articles about this development is the fact that the Sharks control lots B and C, which is that whole concrete parking lot that's attached to the back end of SAP Center. They control that. And while Google can throw out blueprint and mock-up after mock-up, taking over that area, the Sharks they're still required to sign off on that. And if they don't, F you, Google. I'm just saying, it's like you call yourself the alphabet company, there's 2 letters for you, F and U.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just saying. But go check out our interview with John Tortora from a couple months ago. On our YouTube, on our SoundCloud, all of our podcasts, Tortora gets into that. So, anyway, to piggyback on that as well, because of COVID-19, the expansion of Sharks Ice has been delayed. That is something that Jonathan Becker brought up in our interview with him from a couple weeks ago. If you're interested in knowing anything about that, go pick that up. There has been some talks about opening up some sort of, areas that people can start skating. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But the thing that I've kind of been excited to talk about just a scotch, because Jerk is a Philly full, San Jose Sharks have signed KHL goalie Alexei Melnichuk. Am I saying that correctly, Jerk?
Sure.
Enough? Enough?
Yeah, close enough.
There you go. All right, okay, hold on. Let me throw this out for everybody watching. Last season, 1.68 goals against average, 930 save percentage. Not too fucking bad, but dude was playing in the K, not the N.
Well, yes. Okay, and I will say this. There's potentially a fire I may have to put out, so if I stop talking, that's why. Anyway.
Signs a 2-year deal for $925K.
Which that's a standard entry level stuff, so I'm not really upset about it at all. But here's the thing: to your point, AJ, yes, playing in the KHL. However, and Vince G, I'm glad you're here. You'll have my back on this. The KHL is a goal scorers league, so if you have good goalie stats in a goal scorers league, chances are you're a good goalie. And we've seen a farm of goalies come out of the KHL. The last little while, obviously, with the Island, you've got Ilya Sorokin, you've got Georgiev and Shesterkin. In New York, you've got Samsonov in Washington. The KHL's been a farm for goalies lately, and even if Melnichuk ends up being, somewhere between, Ed Belfour and Antti Niemi, it's still an asset that they got for free, right? And at best case scenario, you're hoping he can maybe be an NHL backup or even an NHL starter. I mean, he played for SKA in the KHL last year, and SKA is one of the good teams in the KHL. I would argue they're the team in the KHL. But, the record of 8-5-1, I would like to see him maybe get more games in. But, again, the goaltending situation with the Barracuda, obviously it's been a little bit in flux, obviously between guys not playing as well as they should have and, potentially certain guys leaving. I think, honestly, if it were me, well,
let me ask you this. How does this affect things with Kornosh, Sachenko, Iman, and who's the guy that I'm missing? I know there's a fourth one in there.
Shortridge.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because I think it all depends. Like, I don't know, Shortridge. I mean, he got loaned out to the ECHL this season and had good stats, but you want to see him do that with the Barracuda. Obviously, I think Mike Robinson is staying at college, so that's not an issue there. But thing is, too, Emond, he just finished his 4th season of Major Junior, and he's going to be 20 on June 20th. So he's going to be eligible for pro hockey next season whenever it starts. I would say smart money is on Josef Koronash becoming the Sharks' backup next year.
No,
and then you just have.
You remember the season he had last year, right?
Yeah, but you know what? He's still the most seasoned guy, of that bunch. And you have to remember, too, the Barracuda team in front of him was not exactly great either.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't great. But do you think
the fire started? Send it to Rocket.
No.
Oh God!
Oh Jesus Christ! But no, because this is the thing I wanted to say, and like throw this out. Does Cornash get the bump? Because if he does that just make Dell expendable? Like, because there's a lot of talk where it's like, well, if Dell doesn't take a haircut, do you go? Do you stay with him or do you go for somebody else? And one of the things that I talked about before, Kevin Kurz wrote about it, but hey, cookie for me. You have Thomas Greiss, who is an option at 34 years old. Somebody you could potentially. It's not like Doug Wilson doesn't have a history of bringing back former players. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, but I mean, Rocket, Cornash did not have a great year. He played in the AHL All-Star game the season before, but last year not great. Now it seemed like anybody who played in San Jose last season, not a great season, but. Does Doug Wilson go out and find, a veteran versus going after an unproven Cornash?
That's a good question. I think he could. I mean, either one could be just as bad of a mistake. So I think would you go 50-50, I think you probably just want to pick the one that's got the better contract options.
True.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like, especially since, it's like, yeah, you want to build a winning team every year, but it's pretty obvious that they're retooling. So it might not be the year to bring in a strong veteran. It might be a good year to try to get some new blood in there.
Berg saying, or you could just bring back Niemi. Yeah, that's gonna be a hard no.
No, yeah, I gotta pass. Nope.
That's gonna be a hard pass for me. Sharks also signed Frederick Handemark to a 1 year, 700,000, well, essentially 800,000 K deal. Good for him. Fine, whatever. I'm not even looking at that because we know that there's a bit of a logjam at the Barracuda. I can't imagine somebody coming in and, I don't know, cutting in line, if you will. So anyhow, we will move on to the next round, and I'm sure after Jerk puts his fire out, he will have a couple more things to say about this KHL goalie. But anywho, we move on. Where were you when the internet lost their shit all know Jumbo. We all saw him, when he shaved it the last time. He looked 10 years younger. And, I mean, we've seen how fucking fast he can grow that shit back. I mean, it might already be back for all that we know. I mean, Rock, do you care? I mean,
okay,
it's
look,
cute.
the facial hair, I've heard. Okay, for some reason, everybody in the chat says that they're stuck in a jumbo loop and they can't hear anything. Okay,
Oh,
so
well,
no, they can't. Never mind.
oh,
They're
there
fine
might
now.
have been. Okay, so
Okay.
there might, when I had the jumbo thing going,
Nobody could hear anything.
yeah, okay. Well, unfortunately, that's the software that sometimes you throw in a video and all of a sudden it turns everything up. But hold on. Super chat, $8 from John John. Can't we just hire a sumo wrestler that can block the entire goal? I would totally agree with that. But anyway,
Yeah.
Back to Jumbo's facial features.
Right. Okay, so beards often are referred to as the push-up bras for men. So I think in this case it was not a push-up bra. It was more of like it was bad. It was like beige and plain with the big wide straps and like the 5 different buckles in the back and like just like, and it always has like the wire poking out, and like it was not the right bra for that face anymore. It needed to come off. So I'm glad. And to be honest, I think that he still looks youthful and spry under there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it was a good call.
Hold on. Let me punch it back. Make sure that we're live. Hold on.
Oh, we got $10.
There it is. There it is.
Yep.
I saw. I unchecked everything, so we're watching it live, and we're actually still in the air. But yeah, my whole thing is, first off, the 2 things that I took away from this video. First off, Jumbo's daughter, insanely cute. She just seems so happy that facial hair is gone. But boy, when he makes that turn and you really get a good look at that beer gut, dear Lord.
It's not a beer gut. It's just normal man flesh.
I haven't been on the ice in a while, and
it's a pasta belly. It's dad bod.
Dad bod. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. But while we're doing that, we will do a quick check-in. Jerk, are you back? That'd be a hard no. All right. Yeah. So,
okay.
The Sharks Foundation, as part of the COVID-19 relief fund that we talked about earlier, the Sharks Foundation. Now, I'm just going to put this. Obviously, I have my take, but let me put this to you guys, and hopefully, Jerk arrives back soon. The Sharks Foundation last week, I believe on Monday, did a 24-hour auction to drive money to this cause. And they said, here's one hat from every player. And they even had some players that are no longer the team. Goodrow, Marlowe. Interestingly enough, no Brendan Dillon, unfortunately. But, but every other player, it's like, here, we're going to auction off these hats. Melker Carlson got $100. Tim Heed's hat got $100. But like Joe Thornton's, I think, was somewhere in the high I want to say 280-ish. Somewhere. I don't think anybody went over 300, but these are, ball caps. I'm assuming snapbacks. But either way, it had the SJ logo, teal hat, SJ Screaming Shark logo. Now, am I all about, let's get some money to the COVID relief fund? Absolutely. And did I think this was cool? Sure. The problem that I kind of had with it is the Sharks Foundation auctions these autograph hats where you can say, okay, I want this Kane autographed cap, or I want this Martin Jones autographed cap. Fun fact, Timo Meyer and Martin Jones, they did okay. Aaron Dell got higher bids than both of those. Over Jones? Okay, maybe. Over Timo? Either way, 24 hours they did this. I just thought that was interesting. But 24 hours they did this. And then after that, and all of them were sold, then they turned around and said, oh, by the way, mystery hats, $40. Give us $40 and we'll send you a random hat signed by somebody. Now, if you're somebody who I don't want to spend a lot of money, and, it's like, I'm not down to spend like $250 on like a couture hat. Like, I'd really like one, but, I look at, I can't, $100 will get me like Melker. I'll just do that. To find out the next day that you could have just spent $40 and got somebody that you might want more than Melker? I don't know. Tough call. Well, how would you have played that, Rock? Would you? Let me ask you. Would you be upset? Like, if if they had a Dylan hat and you're like, you know what, it's going for $200. Fuck it, I'm putting down the $200. I really want that. But then the next day, it's like, oh, $40, and it's a hodgepodge.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know like if it's the same exact product. You know, are they auctioning off the same exact product that they're giving away in the mystery bags?
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess they didn't make as much on the auction as they thought they would, so they just had to do something with it. So kudos on them for trying to make a buck, but I guess it was a little tone deaf insofar as like the timing of it. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to sound like I don't want to be a dick about it. I really don't. For some reason that I don't have that like energy about it tonight, but like, I mean, I see what they're about. I see what they're trying to accomplish. And whoever thought of it doesn't have a whole lot of promotional management and kind of doesn't have the ability to look at maybe a couple of events in succession and see how maybe they might be perceived by the general public. I hope that whoever has that position will learn from this instance that maybe this is an area that requires a little bit more, a little bit more education and application.
Finesse.
Yeah. I'm trying real hard not to say that you done fucked up. I'm trying hard not to say that, but that's basically what happened. I hope you learned, because that's like, people are giving you a shit ton of money, and yeah, it's all for charity and this, that, and the other. But if it is all for charity, then you shouldn't be doing this kind of crap. It looks desperate.
Oh, see, and then Hot Wheels 84 comes in and says it's about the donation, not the product. And I would tend to agree with you, but as a informed fan of the team as to how they roll stuff, this to me came off as a kind of a deal of there was 5 games left, 5 home games. One of those games was probably designated as a mystery hat night, and so they already had all of these hats done, and what supports that is the fact that Marlowe and Goodrow hats were involved. So all of those things were happening. Then again, I get it that it is it's about the donation and about raising the money, but it just felt like it was a bad look to say, I don't know. I just feel like there was a better way to combine that, where it's like, if you're just hoping to God that you get to somebody, that you get somebody you want, give us $40, hell, up to $50 because it's for a good cause. But if you want a specific player, then you have to bid on it. Like, I think if they would have put it all together, I think that would have been fine. The fact that they did the auction one day, and then not even 5 seconds later, they did the buy direct thing. I'm just saying. I would love to work for the marketing department, Sharks. I will tell you how to do this correctly. Anyway, speaking of marketing, speaking of spending money, the hockey guy, our buddy on the YouTube, said that there was a rumor that the Sharks were increasing ticket prices next season. However, a front office person shot that down. Now, he didn't name the front office person. My question to you, Rocket, is can you imagine the PR nightmare there would be if they raised ticket prices after this last season of just amazing disappointment after such high expectations?
I don't think so. I think that I think any other year it would cause a massive uproar, but when you get an entire population who are just literally starved for live sports, I think you might be able to nudge a little
bit.
Yeah, and be able to get it. People will grumble. Oh, people will grumble, but you'll definitely. But they're not going to come after you with the pitchforks and the tiki torches, like that. They're going to be like, I hate this place, man. But it's also, like, who knows if it's going to be, are they going to be able to serve food and beverages, that kind of thing. So it's a trade-off.
Coffee cart.
Yeah,
Coffee
God,
cart.
I want a coffee cart so bad. See, this whole COVID thing is in response to not getting a coffee cart.
Oh. Touch it. Well, you got to pay Carlson somehow.
I mean, like, do I think that it would be the right move? No, I think it would be a ridiculously tone-deaf move to raise ticket prices next year. And you know what's going to happen is, like, they're just going to have a bunch of empty seats that are going to get flipped over on SeatGeek or StubHub, and they're going to end up losing a fork ton of money anyway.
It's going to be a tough plan. No matter what happens, it's going to be tough for every team. And in fact, with that, we'll move on to around the sporting world, a scotch, if you will. Is Jerk back yet? I just want to throw that out.
No, he's not.
Nope.
He's like apparently like straight up literally putting out a fire.
Evidently. All right. Well, I hope he's got a big bucket of water. So Pierre LeBrun from The Athletic says the NHL hints at a December start for the 2021 season. The kicker is that the league still hopes to cram in a full 82-game season, even with the December start. That clearly means no All-Star game next season. No bye weeks for anybody. And you would think it would also be an insanely compacted schedule. I think a lot of 3 games and 4 nights. And maybe you're playing for the Stanley Cup. Maybe you start everything on Independence Day, somewhere in there. I don't know. That's an awful lot of compression. If you're talking about starting in December, and you don't even say at the beginning of December, because we all know the season starts at the beginning of October. So that's 2 months you got to push out. You got to try to cram in there. And you sit there and go, well, there would be no All-Star game. There would be no bye week. Well, how long does that really take? That takes, 10 days out of the equation?
I don't think that you can really... I don't think that you can mash it down past a particular point, because isn't that in the CBA? Like, isn't the bye week in the CBA? Like, because the players the players just need a break to not...
Extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that just because they want extenuating, like, I don't think it's worth it to risk, because you're going to exponentially increase the risk for major injury, for season-ending injuries for a lot of guys if you try to smash everything in like that. I mean, that's the whole reason why they put the bye week in. It's just, I think that it's a pipe dream, and the people who talk about this kind of stuff don't realize that they're not video games. They're real people, and you can only push the human body so far. And it's like, just because you want your public sports spectacle does not mean that you get to demand that these dudes just like completely shred their bodies apart. I mean, it's already a hard enough job. So it sounds like a fun idea, but we don't have the robots to do that yet. So I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know. It's just, yeah. I want a full season. And the other thing, too, is that the Sharks are insanely impacted by whatever happens, because remember, next season is the 30th season for the Sharks. You know that they had at least one new jersey to like roll out to people. You know that they've got merch, in the pipeline ready to go that marks the 30th anniversary. There's going to be a patch somewhere on their jersey, wherever they want to put it. There's going to be things that mark the 30th. Wow, did this put a monkey wrench into all of that? Mm-hmm. Remains to be seen, but oofa. The impact of next season. I mean, we talk about this season, but the impact of next season as well. We move on. Just a couple more things of note here. I hope Jerk gets back in, because I definitely wanted to get his take as well. Washington Capitals forward Brendan Leipsic has proven himself to be a complete douchebag. He has apologized for inappropriate and offensive comments that he says were made in a private conversation on Instagram, but leaked last Wednesday and this is my favorite part, as a result of a hack. Bullshit. Even his brother Jeremy Leipsic was kicked off the University of Manitoba's hockey team. Okay, so this division punching bag, gets the, I think Washington Capitals, I want to say that's his fifth team in 5 years. No, a lot of people are like breaking down his door. The funny thing about this, though, is that the story that I heard, how these comments came to be, was that Brendan was at like some party and like got rip roaring hammered, and some chick got a hold of his phone and went Face ID on his face, unlocked his phone, looked at his Instagram or whatever, and saw this group chat, took screenshots, sent it to herself, and she was the one that leaked it. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm just saying I know it's true. But how do you, at this point, Rocket, like, how are we not at the point where athletes, when they're like 13, 14, 15, at some point at that time, they are literally, somebody is coming along and saying, you know what, kid, you've had a great run, but we've looked at you don't have it. Like, you need to go get into science or computers or something. Like, you need to. And then there's another group of kids, 13, 14, 15. They're like, oh my God, you are going to be a superstar. Let us tell you, job one, don't say anything on social fucking media that you wouldn't want announced to the world at large.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's a relatively new phenomenon, I think. I think that it probably will be something definitely from like future going forward, that it will become more ingrained in the hockey culture of the youth, at least. Like, if you're going to say something unpopular, for God's sake, keep it off of social media. Like, even if it's just to a private group of friends, unless it's a shit posting meme group, then by all means, flame on. But it's definitely, there's boundaries for that kind of stuff. I think that they'll be established. It's still new territory. It really is. Because like before,
not at this point. How long has social media existed? Like, I don't get the fact.
Yeah, but like the cancel culture hasn't existed for very long though, and the whole like Me Too movement hasn't existed for all that long. So like, this is all just, it's all part of the recipe.
Yeah, but it seems like even beyond cancel culture and Me Too, it's this idea of people digging up shit that you've said on social media, wherever, that's been far longer than over the last couple of years.
It's ramped up. It's ramped up over the last couple of years. I really will say that the frequency and no, I think it has.
No, it's not that. It's that Rocky came in here and dropped a bomb. But anyway, go ahead.
Fucking Rocky.
I'm telling you. Well, when you got that much size on you, you're going to drop a bomb or two from time to time.
He's a girthy man, that's for sure. No, like it's fuck. Now all I can think about is how girthy Rocky is. No, I think that it's relatively like, you didn't have as much. It started maybe about 2 years ago when a lot of the YouTubers like started getting their old tweets dug up, and they really started getting canceled. It was like a whole string of them. And since then, people have decided, like, oh, well, what happens if I search this? And what happens if I search that? So, I mean, yeah, it's been going on for, longer than, but over the past couple of years, I believe that it has ramped up significantly. And it's going to cause people to be more responsible with their unpopular opinions, plain and simple. You can still have your unpopular opinions and be a misogynist piece of shit. This is a free country. Precisely. Exactly. Just keep it off of social media. Plain and simple. It's all you have to do.
But see, you break up some great points. Me Too. All of those things. When did that start? That started like what, year and a half ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
These comments happened like a few months ago. So it's and that's the point. It's like if these comments had came out a decade ago, I'd be like, well, he's just. And when you look at the comments, to be honest, they're really not that offensive, at least not to me. I think he talked a little bit of shit about somebody's girlfriend or wife or whatever. He says, like, like maybe she could mix in a salad once in a while. Like, okay, fine. Like, it's not a nice thing to say, but I don't think it's like insanely offensive. But we are at that hyper sensitive time frame. I don't know. I just look at it, and here's the thing that really got me. That okay. Pacific Division punching bag Dustin Penner tweeted this out saying, "Privacy is dead. This is the world we want, to chase people around the village with torches. He without sin cast the first stone." I defend what he said, but I defend the right to say it, especially in a private conversation. Y'all are fucking hypocrites. To a certain extent, I agree with what Dustin Penner is saying. First off, it's a private conversation. Secondly, who's without sin? There you can go. Great. Get your fucking rocks from your glass house and start hurling them out there. Again, the comments that he said, it's not like there wasn't blatant racism. It wasn't blatant misogyny. It was just kind of a dude being a little bit of a dick, talking shit about like someone else's girl.
That's misogyny, AJ. That's the textbook definition of misogyny.
Oh, see, I would disagree on that. That one I would disagree with. I don't think that's misogynist to just like catch a look at like the girl that some guy's dating and go, ooh, yeah, he could do better. I don't think that's a misogynistic comment. I just think it's a
no.
Kind of
it
a
is
dicky
unless you're looking at him too, going, ooh. Then again, they deserve each other.
All right, okay, but like a Toiga saying, he could just keep those comments to himself, and I absolutely agree. He could,
or keep them off of social media, like and
see, there you go. That's the fucking point right there. Keep them off social media.
Jerk says freedom of speech doesn't equal freedom of consequence, and I think that was a really good point.
Absolutely,
because like you do, like I said, you do have the absolute right to be a douchebag and a misogynist and all these other things. Just keep it out of the freaking, and on top of that, delete your message history.
Yes.
Like clean up your, you know what I mean? Like just clean your security up. Keep your unpopular opinions off of social media. Work on it.
Rocket, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Can I be a bit of a dick from time to time?
From time to time, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I can be an asshole, yes?
Yes.
And you know what? Fun fact, the company that I work for is unaware of this. Because when I am at work and I'm with them, I don't act like that. I put on the mask and I say, yes, thank you very much. Here you go. Here is the work that you wanted me to complete. There you go. And that's it. I don't sit there and go, wow.
Fuck you.
Yeah, well, or I don't sit there and go, here's the work that you wanted, Mrs. Huge Awesome Tits. I'm not saying stupid shit. Or here's the work that you needed, Mrs. Fat Ass. How do you fit through the door with that trunk? Like, I don't say those things. Now, might I think them? Sure, absolutely. Now, and Rocket also knows me to be a pretty blunt person. And, and before we went on the air tonight, as soon as I saw Rocket on camera, I went, that is an amazing tan you have. But that's it. But I wouldn't say that was a misogynistic comment. It was just kind of like, you have an amazing shade tonight, and I appreciate it. That's all that was. So
yes, I look like a Jersey Shore Oompa Loompa.
I like it. All right, let's move on. We only have a couple minutes left here.
I think.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Jerk is on fire.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Jerk's doing. We only have a few minutes left, and when I say that, I mean from 25 minutes ago. Major League Baseball teams planning to unveil new ticket policies over the next week or so that lay the groundwork for refunds. Following updated guidance from the league office, the Giants and the Athletics have already announced refunds. Good on them. On August, sorry. Oh, Jerk will know what I'm talking about. On April 28th, a fantastic article came out of Colorado in the Denver Press, I think. By not canceling games, the NHL is hurting ticket holders. That was a great article because the pretty much every NHL team has been holding on to the money of ticket holders, whether they're season ticket holders or just individual game buyers. Either way, they've been holding on to all this cash. That hurts their fan base, especially in this time when you need the cash. Cough it up, guys. So on May 4th, the Devils seem to be the first team to come out and say, here are ticket holder refunds and donation options if you want to go that route. But on May 7th, just 3 days ago, the Sharks announced a plan for season ticket holders and a plan for people like myself who have tickets for games that weren't bought as a season ticket holder. Those plans should be forthcoming, but nice to see a few of the teams, including the Sharks, coming out and saying, look, we can give you a refund now on whatever platform that you purchased it on, or we can take your money if you're not hurting as much and apply that as a credit to upcoming games. Either way, there is a plan there, so if you are a season ticket holder for the Sharks, contact them if you need a refund. That's all I'm saying. Finally, I'm going to get up on my soapbox and say, Jesus Christ, Athletic, can we fucking fire Down Goes Brown until hockey starts again? Like, seriously? We came to the point, like, there have been ranking articles. There have been the best hockey player to ever wear this number. What would you do if you had to put a hockey line together and they all wore the same number? And this last week...
Best hockey player by astrological sign.
Oh, fuck. He came that close. So this one...
I know.
What's the best roster you could make from the modern NHL history while only using players who had never played together? So obviously, you couldn't put like Messier with Gretzky. Fine. But Jesus
whatever
Christ.
That boy is smoking needs to be taken away from him immediately. Someone needs to just...
I want you
get him
Rocket.
Me? Yes?
No, you, Rocket. I want you to write that fucking article for Teal Town USA this week. That's like...
The listicle?
No. I want you to write an article for Teal Town USA that says, tribute to Down Goes Brown. Here is the best hockey lineup you could have ever put together, hockey team, by astrological sign.
Okay.
Because they haven't figured that one out yet. They haven't thought about that one yet. We got to scoop them on
I will
that one.
straight up. Okay. Like, I got that. I got that.
Fuck.
I might need a little bit of help, but I can definitely do the research for that.
Oh, absolutely. Just go, but again, by astrological sign. And God help you if Gretzky, Lemieux, and like Bobby Orr were not born in the same month. I don't know what you're going to do. Oh, my gosh. But if they were, Jesus Christ. Oh, the article's going to write itself.
Oh, my gosh. This might be more fun than everybody realizes, but it might be terrible too, so we'll see. Fine. That's fine. Now I have something to do other than garden.
There you go. And get tan, evidently.
Wow, yeah, I think I've already gotten tan. I can just get bronze now.
There you go.
Come back next week looking like Grace Jones.
Holy shit. All right. Okay. And with that, it's time to, wave goodbye, everybody. Jerk, have you returned? And there you go. All right.
Okay.
So with that, I guess we should probably throw it to Rock there for a hot fucking minute, right?
Yeah.
Got to do her dance. So, Rocket, your final thoughts on 2 weeks? Where the hell are we on this lockdown bullshit? Okay, after week 33 and I guess week 9, and like I said earlier, Brody put out a video. It's like, after day 58 of, well, actually, hold on. So the 10th. Yeah, so basically we're at May 10th. If you remember, I think everything shut the shit down on March 12th. So nearly 2 full months, everything fait accompli, if you will. How you been coping?
It's I've been, just doing some gardening. I planted some seeds about a month ago, and
Now,
they're
when you
finally at that
say
stage where they're
gardening,
yes. No, certainly
okay.
not in New Jersey. My goodness gracious, no. No, it's let's see what we got here. Some tomatoes, some cucumbers, some spinach, parsley, cilantro, some stuff.
Damn. Little
Stuff
little
and things.
little oh, what did you do to that plate in my house? Something about bacon juice, oil, something?
Bacon juice, bacon oil.
What did you do to that the seasoning with the bacon?
Seasoning with the bacon, like
I think
the,
you did
the
something
bacon fat.
to the plate when you were staying with me. Every time you cooked anything, it smelled like bacon.
Oh.
What were you doing?
Well, yeah, because that's what I use when you use on cast iron. You need like butter or something. I always
There
just
you
use
go.
a little bit of dab of bacon.
All right.
Grease makes everything smell better. Actually, I posted up a recipe that was chocolate chip cookies that used bacon grease.
Jeez,
And
get
apparently,
the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
yeah.
I want to try this. I want to try this.
The results were amazing, apparently. So, okay.
I need to try this.
Yeah, so I am putting gardening photos on my Instagram because there's really, honestly, nothing else to do out here but garden. So, oh yeah, and if I also there's the new things for me since I'm definitely not used to wildlife on the West Coast or on the East Coast. there's like 4 stray cats in the backyard. Cool, great, whatever. And then there's a fucking groundhog, a woodchuck, a whistle pig, as they're called. It's the same size as a cat, or maybe like a beaver, but without a beaver tail. I'm kind of like, I really want to put a little collar on it, maybe with a little bell, just so I know when it's in the backyard. But you guys, if they had these things in California, I think we as a citizenship would be a whole lot different. Yeah.
Hey now.
Anyway, yeah.
Throw that up there.
What you drinking? Oh, whistle pig? Something pig? Piggy pig?
He's blind.
A blind pig. Okay. So my name is Rocket Backhander, and I'm thoroughly boring. I really am. I want to talk about hockey.
I have lived with you. You are not thoroughly boring. You're a fucking ninja. Not thoroughly boring.
Thank you. That's true. I am kind of a ninja. I'll own up to that. So me and my ninja gardening skills can be found over on Instagram. Looking at all the photographs of my ninja gardening skills. That's Rocket Backhander, one word. Or you can check out my tweeting of weird things and, hockey things and like makeup stuff, because I am kind of a girly girl, kind of. Over on Twitter, it's rbackhander76, capital R, capital B, little Ackhander 76.
Oh, brother, do you have any coffee carts I can borrow? I don't know.
Oh.
No, she's a fucking ninja, ladies and gentlemen. You have no idea. There was at least 1 or 2 times where, like, I was out on my balcony on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, somewhere there, maybe even a Thursday, out on my balcony, throwing a dart, having a beer. I'm like, okay, go to bed. I'll probably just lock the door. It's like 1:30 in the morning. Starting to park my ass in bed. Almost 2 o'clock. My fucking phone goes off, and it's Rocket saying, "Dude, door's locked. Can you let me in?" I'm like, when did you leave? Never even saw her fucking bail, man. It was amazing. Yep. All right, so
I just jumped out the window. Like, I don't use the front door. Just jump out the window. It's a lot faster. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So on behalf of Hockey Jerk, do you have $10 I can borrow? No. Okay.
No.
So we will see you guys in another 2 weeks again while we're in the midst of whatever this is. We are planning to go every 2 weeks. Now, the silver lining of this is, if you consider it, especially the way the Sharks season went, we actually would not have done shows over the last month or so because the shit would be over. So there's been a couple things from here and there that we'd actually been able to talk about, like the signing of the new K goalie and blah, blah, blah. So it's at least afforded us that. There's been a couple little things that have come out from here and there. So anyway, I encourage you to visit the website, of course, Teal Town USA. Recently spoken to Mario Ferraro, Jamie Baker, Jonathan Becker, Randy Hahn. It's been a lot of people that we've talked to recently. Kevin Kurz. I know that Kevin Kurz can be a polarizing figure for some people for some reason. Evidently, there's some people that, I hate it when Kevin Kurz says anything negative and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's what he's fucking paid to do, to give an honest assessment as part of being a beat writer. Go objectively with no bias. Look at the 20 minutes that I talked with Kurz earlier this week. Your mind might change a little bit, is what I'm saying. So go check that out. We are hoping to... It's not like the players have any fucking thing better to do than play PS4, right? So we're working on getting another...
And making... Mario's got so much content, though. Between the baking recipes and the leg day.
Right?
He's got lots of other things to do.
What is it? What's his fucking thing, his tie-in that I can never... Because he says it so fucking fast. What's a good, you donkeys in the hood or some shit? I can't even figure out what he's saying. He says, what up, all you donkeys in the hood? He says it so fast. It sounds like one long word. But anyway.
Yeah. And then at the end he says, smell you later.
There you go. So check out our interview with Mario. He was so cool. He was so nice to do that interview. Or shouldn't say interview, kind of like a little check-in chat. Go check that out. Again, I implore you, if you're not a Kevin Kurz fan, take 20 minutes, listen to our talk from earlier this week. I'm not saying it's going to make you a Kevin Kurz fan, but maybe you won't hate him as much as you do. And to be honest, I don't know why there is a contingent of fans that hate him other than the fact that he's not Pollyanna about everything. So I will leave it there. With that, we're working on a couple more interviews, and I will leak this to the people that are watching right now. I am hoping in process, hopefully sometime this week, we will be talking to a Sharks player. I'm not going to tell you if he's a former Sharks player, a current Sharks player, or a soon-to-be Sharks player. The only thing that I will tell you is that his job is stopping pucks. So that's what we're working on right now, and hopefully that comes to fruition. And I already sound like an asshole for saying that if it doesn't come to fruition. But just putting it out there that I'm working on it. So with that, thank you so much for watching. This is episode 101 of the Pucknologist. I'm AJ_Strong on social media. She's our backhander 76 on social media. He is at hockey_jerk on social media when he's not putting out fires. And there you go. So thanks very much for watching. We will catch you all in 2 weeks. Unless something fantastical happens this week, and then we'll see you next week. But I'm just saying. Right? Sounds
right.
Good. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Brother, do you have...